Hello there, this is Charles, and we are about to start Chapter 4 of Going Home. In Chapter 3, Nathan and Myrtle arrived in Ohio at Nathan's friend's house. They had dinner and found out that Nathan and Myrtle have tickets for the ball game the following day. What happens there, we'll find out next in Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Mark dropped them off at the main entrance to Great American Ballpark, said he would pick them at the same spot when the game was over, and left. Nathan wasn't much of a sports fan, but the look on his grandmother's face was almost magical. It was like 40 years had been erased. She was grinning from ear to ear, and if he wasn't mistaken, she was almost skipping. At any regard, he was having a hard time keeping up with her heading to the gate. They bought a program, peanuts, hot dogs, soft drinks, and went to their seats by the dugout. When he bought the tickets, Nathan hadn't figured on the number of steps they would have to walk down to their seats, and Myrtle began to lag behind as the steps took their toll on her knees. "You know the last time I attended a Reds home game?" Myrtle asked as they finally sat down. "Game 1 of the 1976 World Series against the Yankees." "That was it. How did you know?" "Maybe because you told me twice last night. Grandpa was a Yankees fan, and you never let him forget about that series either." "Those were good times. Hasn't been a team like that since, well, except maybe '90. That team was pretty good, too." A man seated to their right had overheard their conversation and interjected. "Did I hear you right? The last game you attended was the series in '76? "That's right. What a team that was. Never see another team like that." "You got that right, lady. Best there ever was, if you ask me. Those were good times to be a Reds fan. What kept you away all those years?" "Got married and moved to New Jersey in the late '50s. My husband was from there. Huge Yankees fan. We came here for Game 1 and attended Game 4 in New York. I think I enjoyed it more than he did. Just never really got the chance to attend another one here. Always coming here at the holidays and all. Saw them play the Mets in New York a few times over the years, and a couple times in Philly." "So what brings you back now?" "My husband passed away recently. I'm moving in with my grandson here." "He lives in Cincinnati?" Nathan replied. "Used to, until I was 14. Moved in with Grandma when my dad died back in '02. Now I have a job in San Jose." "San Jose," the man responded, somewhat astonished. "You're moving in with him out there?" "That's right. We're on the way there now. And Nathan here surprised me with tickets for the game when we detoured through here on the way," Myrtle said with barely concealed delight. "Man, that's the best story I've heard in a long while. I hope the Reds give you a good game to remember. Not been the best season, and the Cubs are on fire lately. This guy they got going today has been dealing. Going to have to get to him early." "I think they'll win. They won the last time I was in town." "Maybe you bring the team luck. You should have come around more often these last couple years. Could have used a bit of luck." "I don't know about that. I went every chance I had when they came to New York, and they still lost a few of those." "Well, can't win them all. I didn't have these kind of seats in '76. We were way up. It's something else sitting down here. I try to sit this close when I come. You can watch the pitchers better from down here." "You like to watch the pitchers?" "Yes, ma'am. Most important part of the game." "That's right, but the way people talk about the '70s teams, all you ever hear about are the hitters." "Well, I don't know about that. That team had a decent pitching staff." "They sure did, but that's not what people remember. So you followed that team?" "I guess you could say I did." "Were you lucky enough to attend any of the World Series games that year?" "I was at all 4. "Well, call me jealous now. Did you have good seats?" "I didn't have a seat for Game 1. I was on a mound for that one. But I had a good seat in the dugout for the other 3. "Wait, you're—" "Yes, ma'am, that's me. But I don't think I had the pleasure of catching your name." "Myrtle. Myrtle Callahan. It's a real pleasure meeting you, Mr. Gullett." "Just call me Don, and the pleasure is all mine." As the game got underway, Nathan found his attention wavering, especially since Grandma was engrossed in a never-ending analysis of every aspect of the game with her newfound friend. He heard glimpses of the conversation, always dealing with some strategy or that. Should he swing away or bunt here? He should try to hit it to the right side. Maybe they should walk this guy and set up a double play. I wonder if they'll bring in the lefty here. On and on she went, hardly sitting back in her seat the entire game, hanging on every ebb and flow. Nathan didn't get the fascination with sports, but it was a joy to observe Grandma. She really was in her element, enjoying a day at the ballpark watching her favorite team, and her joy was infectious. Those sitting around them were smiling from ear to ear and kept looking at her to see her reaction whenever a good play was made. The game ended in a victory for the home team, which delighted most of those in attendance, none more than Myrtle, and she gave a thorough post-game analysis all the way out the main gate, to the car, and throughout the entire 30-minute drive back to Mark's house. The first part of their dinner conversation consisted of another account of the game, just in case anything had been missed during the car ride, until Evelyn, finding a pause in the flow, saw fit to interject a change of topic, much to the relief of everyone around the table, Myrtle excluded. "So, Nate, tell me more about your job. What exactly do you do there?" Evelyn asked. "Right now, I'm one of the programmers working on the single-player games. You know, most games have a single-player campaign and then an online multiplayer part. I program the AI for the single-player campaigns. I did the AI for that game Mark likes to play." "AI, you mean how the game characters behave?" "Mostly. I have two parts to that. I have to program how the player's squad mates behave, so the player feels like he's playing with a team that will react accordingly to what he is doing. Then you have the enemy who have to behave in a believable manner as well. That's where Mark thinks I've made them too hard." "You've done that the whole time you've worked there? You went there right out of college, right?" "Yeah, but I didn't start doing AI. I started out doing some basic animation stuff at first, programming how characters move around, a lot of other really basic stuff like doors opening in rooms, or things you would see in an outdoor scene like ripples on water, trees swaying in the wind, that sort of thing. I did that for 3 years until I got promoted to what I'm doing now. In fact, I'm up for another promotion. At least I think I have a good chance of getting it." "That sounds great. What would that entail?" "It's a supervisory position. I would head up a team with other programmers reporting to me. So I would have to supervise artists, AI people, and the animation people doing what I used to do. It would mean a lot more responsibility, but also a bit more pay." "That would be great. When do you find out about that?" "I'll probably know something by the time I get back to work. Which reminds me, I need to touch base. Since they were expecting me to be flying back after the funeral, now it's going to take a few days longer to get back. I'll shoot an email to my boss in the morning before we set out." Well, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 4. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you want information on any of my other work, you can check out the links in the description below. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.